All right, so for the past 3 years or so, I've been sitting down at the end of every year talking about what I've learned in my real estate marketing media company. This is going to be my third full-time year of doing this since I quit my full-time job of 17 years. Now, I've been doing real estate marketing and media for about 7 years now, but again, the past 3 years have been completely full-time, and this year has been my best year ever, despite it being the most challenging year in real estate marketing and media. In today's video, I'm going to talk about what I've learned throughout this year, what I'm going to do differently for 2024. Let's get started. What's good, everybody? Ken here. You're watching OriginaldoBo. And if you're into real estate marketing, media, and understanding this side of the business, I highly suggest that you hit that subscribe button. Although not all of my content will pertain to real estate or even drones or cameras, I sort of dabble in a little bit of everything. So if you're interested in all different types of life, then you definitely need to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of these future videos. All right, let's talk about 2023. What have I learned? And the first thing I learned, I needed dedicated software that pertained to real estate marketing and media. Previously, I was using Square to do all my bookings. It was a free service. I paid for the premium. It was like $65 a month. And at the time, I thought it worked amazing. But there was one major flaw with using Square, and it was when it came down to file delivery. File delivery really did put a dampener on things and made some relationships with some of my clients very, very sour very quickly, simply because they would forget to pay. And I had no way to firewall my product. So what I ended up doing throughout the course of the year is REO reached out to me, I think it was back in April, offered me an enterprise service where they basically set everything up for me and convert what I had on my previous website to an REO booking site. And wow, did that make life so much easier, because what it ended up doing was allowing me to just focus on what I do best, which is film, create, and deliver. And then REO handled the rest, which was getting me paid for my product. So it basically put a paywall in front of my product. It also allowed customers to choose the packages for themselves, showing all of the prices based upon whatever it was that they were choosing. And I made some changes to my pricing to try to make it as competitive, keeping in mind what is happening in my market. Unfortunately, you got a lot of people racing to the bottom here, and you got to be mindful of that. I wouldn't tell anybody to race to the bottom, but you have to be cognizant of that and sort of keep prices high, but also keep them competitive at the same time, which I think I did a good job with. There is a lot of competition here, which I really didn't realize at the time there was so much competition here. But I'll touch more on that in the end of the video, because that's something that I learned this year too as well. But first thing you got to do is you got to get a dedicated software to deliver your files. And for bookings, it's going to increase your ticket averages by allowing customers to select more add-ons. And it's also going to make sure when you deliver these files, they are actually paid for when they start using them, which is really, really important. The second thing I made a change on this year was I wanted to focus more on quality, not so much the quantity of shoots that I was doing. I really wanted to focus on higher end homes, moving into a newer market, which was Tampa and St. Pete, because that's where a lot more of these luxury homes are. It's not so much of a suburban area. Where I'm located here up in Spring Hill, it's very, very suburban. There's not really this forward thinking mentality when it comes to homes. Tampa homes are just on a whole new level. And the average median for most homes in downtown Tampa start at about $750,000 and go up from there. So I really sort of found myself engaged with much higher end properties this year, which lends to a lot of the profit increase and the sales increase that I saw this year. And I did the same amount of houses, but for a much higher dollar amount this year. Really comes down to the fact that we really focused more on the quality side. We really got engaged with agents that care about quality, understand quality. And a lot of that really happened from number threes, which is how I started marketing myself. Now, mid-year, I started marketing more on Instagram, and I really started putting more effort into posting one reel, one piece of content a day. And at the time of starting this, my Instagram had about 400 followers at the beginning of the year. I made it a point to keep marketing and pushing and pushing and pushing and growing and actually engaging and keeping up with the trends. And I grew the Instagram from 400 to about 2,600 followers in a year's time. And how I'm gauging that this is working is a lot of the clients that I have picked up recently have come from Instagram and have told me they've found me on Instagram when they've called, or they message me on Instagram. I always have to check my DMs because there's always this request tab. I sort of hate it on Instagram, but there's a request tab and I always check that at least once a day because there's always a message in there from somebody new that I'm not following, or a new agent that's maybe not happy with their old marketing person and they're wanting to try something new. So I'm always checking that, keeping up to date with that, because that's where a lot of clients have come from. Some of the best clients that I'm working with right now have stemmed from Instagram, and I'm so thankful that I put more time and energy into Instagram this year. Now, I'm not saying Instagram is going to work with every market. It just works in my market because Tampa, it's a younger market. The agents are younger. I have a metropolitan area. There's actually 2 combined metropolitan areas with both Tampa and St. Pete. So it really works out. And a lot of these agents really rely on Instagram for their marketing purposes as well. So checking out Instagram and pushing towards that really has helped me in 2023. All right, number 5. This was a mistake I started making halfway through the year, and I went back to what I was doing initially at the start of the year, which was staying in my bubble. I didn't know half of the people existed in the real estate marketing world until just a few months ago. I started getting involved with like the real estate photography and videography group. And to be completely honest, I didn't know how many people were doing this in the Tampa, St. Pete, Florida area at all. I didn't know half the names of some of these companies, whether they were big companies, small companies. I gave 0 fucks because I didn't care, because if it didn't directly affect my bank account, I didn't care if Johnny Smalltime was doing X, Y, and Z and they were 3 houses down. I gave 0 fucks about my competitors because I just didn't look around. I didn't pop my head up to look around. It was only this year I started looking around and started noticing people. And sometimes that could be the most toxic thing to do, is look around and notice your competition. See, real estate is a very lonely industry. It's a A-B transaction in many instances where you're just working with a client and they're working directly with you, and you don't have to really worry about anybody around you. However, this year, there has been such a push for all this new style change and all these things that were happening. I had to adapt and I had to look around a little bit for some inspiration. So we did make some style changes. We did change up our pacing to make it, I guess, more modern, more future-proof. And it's sort of pushed me to compete a little bit with some of the people in my area, but not necessarily directly. There's also like so much toxicity in this industry of like, you have to have this agency, you have to scale, you have to feel like you're so much bigger than you are. And the reality is, when, I guess in my position, having multiple companies, I don't really give a shit. I don't really give a shit if I scaled this any bigger. I'm super happy focusing on quality because at the end of the day, for me, I'm in this for the art. I love to do this. We don't travel. We don't really take vacations. And I know some people are really like, what the hell is wrong with you? But my wife is a workaholic too. I'm a workaholic. My father was a workaholic. We absolutely, we survive best when we are working, unfortunately. And that's just always been my mentality. And it doesn't bother me. It doesn't burn me out. I get excited about it. I've been more excited about real estate this year than any other year. And I'm going to continue that. But what I would suggest to many of you is try not to look too much around at your competitors or other people in the industry. Sometimes it can become depressing to see what they're doing or they're boasting or bragging. Try to cancel out all that noise and just focus on what you need. Focus on your clients. You're going to better serve yourself if you don't worry about what other people are doing. That is the best advice I can give you. And that really applies for almost any industry, but focus on you and just keep your head down, stay humble, and do what you do best, which is take care of your clients. That was something that I had to remind myself midway through the year. All right, let's talk about 2024. All right, so 2024, one of the things I've decided to do is to add in an admin. Now, I feel like the business is big enough right now and there's definitely enough of revenue to add in an admin. Now, some people add in virtual admins from overseas, whatever, but I have a pretty sweet deal happening right now. I have a previous admin for some real estate agents that she moved to another state. And it's an easy work from home job, and she can handle tasks like scheduling, following up with my customers, file deliveries, managing the website, and social media. So she can take a lot of those tasks off of my plate, and it's probably going to take her maybe 6 hours a week to do these things. They're super easy tasks. It's not going to require somebody sitting there doing it constantly, which admin time, 6 hours a week. If I can get 6 hours a week back, that is perfectly great for me. That is 6 hours additional a week. And you times that by a month, and now I just gained back 24 hours. I gained back an entire day in a month's time. And as we go, that workload may get a little heavier for them. It may not, I don't know, but I figure we're gonna start off small, see how it goes. The other thing I'm gonna be doing this year is adding in another photographer to handle some of the less complicated tasks. When it comes to video and things like that, I'm always going to be in full control of that. I want to be 100% involved with that. I don't ever want anything outsourced or hitting anybody else's hands. I've had really bad experiences doing that, and I haven't really found the right editors for that to be able to handle that or to understand or convey the emotion that goes into some of these houses. And maybe that's why I do get a lot of business from some of these higher end clients, because they can see the quality that goes into work, and it's not just a turn and burn industry for me. So until I find an editor, I'm still going to handle all the video side of things, which can get complicated, but there are times where there's just more photo than there are video. So adding in a photographer that can just handle the video side of things, or handling the photography side of things, I should say, is going to be a big help, and it's going to allow me to be in multiple places at once, essentially. And then the last thing I'm going to be doing for 2024 is I'm embracing the fact that Zillow tours, Zillow 3D tours, and Zillow floor plans are a thing. Earlier this year, I lost a couple of clients to Zillow showcase listings because they were offering photography with it. And one of the things that they were doing was doing the Zillow Showcase 360 tour and Zillow floor plans. Now, I've long been a proponent that I did not like 360 tours or 3D tours or anything to do with 3D. But unfortunately, it's something that has to be embraced, because if you don't offer every single service, there will be spillage. And when there is spillage, somebody will go somewhere else that can be a 100%, 100 complete shop and stop. So I had to add those in, and starting in 2024, we're going to be doing just that. Hopefully that will alleviate some of the spillover and alleviate some of the people that were using Zillow because of those reasons. Now that Zillow's opened this up to just any photographer, it's going to make it a lot easier. And the clients that I did lose, I called them back. I explained them that I'm going to be adding this in, and that if they are out of their contract, they're more than welcome back. Brings me to one other bonus point, is that you will lose clients in this industry. You're going to lose clients, whether it be they find somebody that offers a cheaper price, or maybe they're just not happy about something that you're doing. Or in my instance at the time, it was uncontrollable circumstances that Zillow was offering such a great deal to these clients that they wanted to go somewhere else. But keep in mind, it's how you handle a client when you lose them, which will dictate whether they will come back to you if the circumstances change. So all I can suggest is, when you lose a client, don't get nasty with them. Be super understanding, and just be a good person overall, and just handle it with a good amount of respect. Don't get nasty. Don't be like, well, good, I didn't want you anyways, type of thing. Sometimes they will come back. Just try to stay neutral in the situation and understand at the end of the day, this is always just business. And sometimes you got to do what's best for your business. All right. Hopefully a lot of what I talked about in this video resonates with you. Hopefully you can make better decisions and take your business to the next level in 2024. As always, you can always reach out to me on Instagram. I'm at OriginaldoBo. Or if you want to check out my sort of the professional side of things, check out Apex Imaging Media on Instagram as well. Drop it a follow, and you'd be more than happy to shoot me a message if you have any questions. Yeah, there's that. I do have a course that's available. It's over on pilotinstitute.com. This year, I am moving all of my online coaching over to pilotinstitute.com. We're going to be moving over to the Circle app. So I look forward to working with many of you over there, trying to do some more one-on-one type of things this year in 2024. So yeah, there you go. As always, guys, stay original.
like they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check. I got the message on me, ain't no flexing on me, my attorney gon' call and collect. Blessings on blessings for me, my successes only made them envious, they got upset. I had to put all their egos in check. I want the money to